Now I want to elaborate on this. Because another thing we need to understand is that gang violence among Black Americans make up a small percentage of Black America. So it's not something that's been normalized in all of Black America. I need to clarify that. And we all know this. Violent crime in general is isolated to only a few portions of the country, right? The majority of violent crimes and gang activity. I'm talking about homicides. But you can factor in the dealing of drugs because that is tied in oftentimes with the violence. Keep in mind, FBG Brick was arrested at, I think, before he was even 10 years old. May have been 11 or something, for robbery. Almost all of them, especially early in their life, got some type of robbery on their record. Almost all of them. King Von tried to rob somebody. They've all either robbed or tried to rob somebody. So economics always plays a hand in the violence here in the United States. It's always a part of it. But the senseless killings, especially what we see in the gang wars, that especially not only in Chicago, but Jacksonville, in different cities across the United States, where the violence itself was tied in with the music, right? It was tied in with the music. So even though it's a small percentage of Black America, wherever it is, it's needs to be gotten. It needs to stop. It don't matter if it's even 5% of the Black American population. It's still bad. It don't make it no better. It's not like you could, I'm going to just sit back and say, oh, okay, it's just even 2%. Let's just say 1%. Only 1%, let's say, Black America involved in, gang violence and violent killings. You still don't just say, oh, okay, it's still wrong. It's still not good. It still should stop. Right? Families still grieving. What kind of sense that make? If it's a senseless killing that don't have to happen, why not stop? It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. I just think it's unrealistic. And again, maybe he's old. He an older person. I don't even want to focus on Tariq. Because he might be an older dude, don't even know nothing about this. Probably ain't even kept up with, the modern gang violence. I mean, even within the past decade or so, 2 decades, probably ain't kept up with it. Probably ain't even familiar. He's heard these names of Fulio. Like with Fulio, I think he had to look that up. I don't even think he knew who Fulio was. Before Fulio passed, I don't even think he knew who it was. And then he found out what Fulio was doing, and he said, oh, well, yeah, of course that'll, people will get at you if you're doing something like that. But I don't think I've ever heard him speak against what goes on in drill. It's disrespectful to other Black people. It's the worst form of violence that Blacks have ever displayed towards each other. Not only violence, but pure hatred. Understand, it involves the disrespecting of the dead. That's crazy. People, that is insane. And you talking, these are kids doing this. 12, 13, 14, 15, saying F this dead person, F that dead person, And with the kids involved, they always start and pick this up when they're kids. This is never something that's introduced into their life later in life. Especially this generation we just created with drill. Drill started around 2012. Brand new genre. Some of these youngsters grew up on drill. Just created a generation we don't know what they gonna be like, and we already saying it. What's next? Like, drill is worse than gangster rap. Gangster rap motivated violence as well, but drill is far more personal. They're mentioning people in their own communities and deleting people in their own community, just people a few blocks away. The gang wars in Chicago and all across the country are like sad horror stories. And to look at it as some type of gladiator, oh yeah, that's the streets, man, that is sick. And again, to do that is to not look at this as a crisis with our kids. Because it all starts, and that's mind-boggling to me. They all start with this behavior as kids. Traumatized from several events early in life. Again, many of them, it's mostly black males. Many of them, from the earliest of ages, were abused. You look like your daddy. They're beaten constantly. And that's just prepping them. That's the earliest years. By the time you 6, 8 years old, you're already messed up. You've been verbally abused, physically abused, neglected. And you add in, there's a whole lot of influences. And I don't think it's difficult to reflect on all the influences in violence. But to whatever degree it exists, it's bad, right? It's bad. It needs to stop. And the music, that's not even a debate at this point. Whether or not the music influences the violent activities. Right now, we're at the prime of that happening. The music today, and within the past, let's say 15 years, has been more influential on the violent activities than it has ever been in history. That's exactly the thing you don't say in this era. And I'll leave it there.